Okay, for this video, we're just going to go over the very first rule right here, which is multiplying like bases. We're pretty much going to follow this rule, and we're going to do the first 6. And here's kind of the main thing. If we have the same base, here the base is 2, here the base is 2, what we wind up doing is we just add the exponents here of 2 and 3. So this is going to equal 2 to the 5th. And when we fill this out, let's say if we have variables, if I have the same base x, now these exponents n and m, they're going to represent numbers. Well, we keep the same base, but we just add the exponents. So we say x raised to the n plus m power. And that's pretty much it right there. So if you're multiplying like bases, here's the main thing. We'll put this in words. Then you want to add the exponents. Okay, we want to add the exponents. Let's do a couple of these. Okay, number 1's a real quick one. 5 to the 3rd times 5 to the 6th. The base is 5, so I keep the base of 5, but I add the exponents 3 and 6. So 3 plus 6 gives me 9. So this is the same as saying 5 to the 9th. Okay, number 2, if you have x to the 11th times x. Well, if you just have x, one thing we forget, if it's just x, you don't write it, but the exponent's assumed to be 1. So I'm going to put 1 right there. So you're multiplying the same base as x, so you're going to have x, and then you just add 11 and 1, and you get x to the 12th. So pretty easy. 3, and really the rest, 4, 5, and 6, now we're going to add coefficients before the variables. So if you add coefficients, you want to multiply those first. So you have 6, and you have this 2. 6 times 2 gives me 12. So I'm done with 6 and 2. I'm going to cross those out. Then you have n cubed. This n cubed times n to the 7th, so I'm going to have n. Now you're adding the exponents, so 3 plus this 7 gives me an exponent of 10. So we have 12n to the 10th. Okay, if we move on to 4, see I have this 3. Now there's no number before the x cubed y to the 4th, so it's assumed to be 1. So 3 times 1 is 3. So get rid of this 3, get rid of that 1. Okay, then if I have an x times an x cubed. Well, remember, x is like saying x to the 1st. So 1 plus 3 is 4, so that's x to the 4th. So I'm done with the x. And then I have, I'll underline it, y cubed times y to the 4th. Again, add the exponents, so that gives me y to the 7th. Okay, you're pretty much just following the rule here. You know, if you're multiplying the like bases, you add the exponent. It's pretty black and white, pretty cut and dry. Okay, the last two are a little bit harder, but not too bad. Again, I want to get the coefficient first. So let's first identify the coefficients. Here it's 3. For the second one, it's negative 4. So when I multiply those, 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Okay, I'll get rid of the 3 and the 4. Let's look at the x's. I have x squared times x to the 4th. I just add those exponents, so 2 plus 4 gives me x to the 6th. So I'm done with the x's. Let's look at the y's. Okay, we have y to the 4th times y. Remember, y is just like saying y to the 1st. So 4 plus 1 gives me 5, so I have y to the 5th. Done with the y's, and let's look at the z. I have z times z to the 5th. This is like saying z to the 1st times z to the 5th. So 1 plus 5 is 6, so we get z to the 6th. So that's it right there. And you know, I cannot add 6, 5, and 6 because these are not like bases. They're different bases. So you know that you're done. Okay, let's do the last one. All right, I want to identify the coefficients first. We have negative 4 and negative 6. When you multiply those, the negatives cancel out and give you positive 24. So I'll cross negative 4 and negative 6 out. Okay, then we have r, and we have r to the 5th. So that's like saying r to the 1st times r to the 5th. So if you add 1 and 5, you get r to the 6th. So we'll get rid of the r's. Then we have the x squared and another x squared. You add the 2's and you get x to the 4th. So we're done with the x's. Then the last thing, we have t cubed times this t. Remember, this t is like saying t to the 1st. So 3 plus 1 gives me 4, so it's t to the 4th. Alright, pretty basic, pretty simple. If you're multiplying like bases, then you add the exponents.